paying any sort of yield. Yeah. Okay. Thanks. So another area that we look at in the survey is sustainable investments, and we see that in over half of family offices, they're now playing quite a sort of core and established role in portfolios. But when we look at the US, that percentage dips a bit. I can't remember the exact percentage geographically for the US, but it's slightly lower in other regions than in other regions. And also, we see that US family offices are perhaps more inclined to make impact investments than family offices elsewhere, and less inclined to get involved in exclusion-based investments and ESG integration. And I just wondered if I could ask whether you as a family office, whether you get involved in sustainable investing, and if so, what approach you take.
We don't knowingly get involved in sustainable, in investing. It's not been one of our mandates. It may, with respect to a part of the portfolio in a few months, it may become some discussions on that. We did take a bet on solar when we, about 5 months ago, when we projected that Biden was going to win the election. We figured that would be very good for wind and solar. And we did some selective stock selections in that area, but it was unrelated to any overall goal or program.
Okay, and when you say you might introduce a program, I mean, what's the motivation for that? Is that younger members of the family trying to or suggesting this, or is it just that this is becoming more mainstream, so it might be a good time to sort of review the opportunity?
It's for some of the family members whose companies may be generating some of this additional liquidity in the next 6 months. It's an area of interest to them. We may actually do it through several of our philanthropic trusts and foundations, and put those portfolios and direct them towards that, where they may actually be trustees and involved more in the public eye. But other than that, no, we don't have a lot of mandate. We don't have any mandate to do that.
Okay, thanks. I wondered also if I might just ask you a few questions about the family office itself, because we're looking at things like trends in costs this year, and I just would be interested in your thoughts about the kind of trends that we're seeing. So we're seeing some upward pressure on costs. So we're seeing that costs in terms of salaries and staff are rising. For I think it's about a third of family offices are seeing that, and also that we're seeing costs on IT going up, which might reflect the issue of having to work remotely, and at the same time we're seeing some fall in, or some expected fall in the costs of actually of sort of the real estate side of the office. I guess that's, for many people that's office rents, and that's particularly the case in the US actually. And so I wondered, if you're seeing any upwards pressure on costs generally, and at the same time whether you're seeing that any sort of fall in the sort of cost of the physical cost of the office as well.
The office footprint is not changing has not changed for some time.